Hey guys, it's Bryce and Billy again for Sports Club BCS Style. We're going to hit 4 more bowls before we start moving on to the BCS games. We're going to hit the Outback Bowl first. Florida at Penn State. Florida completely underwhelmed this year. They didn't play well. Urban Meyer has actually resigned from his position. Will Muschamp, the D coordinator at Texas, who is no longer bowl eligible, is going to help coach in this game. Is that what you said?
That's what I heard.
So it's going to be real interesting to see the different styles that's going to be showing up in the Florida Penn State game.
They're going to have to get over the embarrassment they suffered from FSU, their last game. That was just an embarrassing game. They didn't put up good numbers. They didn't look like the normal a Florida football team you see. And it really, with the players, with this coaching change, where is their mind going to be? Is their mind going to be, let's have one more game for Urban Meyer, let's go out there, put it all on the line, or are they going to be thinking about Muschamp? Maybe not the seniors so much, but the sophomores, the juniors, the freshmen, the people that are coming back next year. What's their mindset going to be? And I tell you, one big key to this game for Florida, Brantley has still not decided if he's going to come back next year. He said he's going to sit down after the bowl game with his family. They're going to discuss it and see what they want to do. I would have to think they would come back with Muschamp running that pro style.
A pro style is much better for Brantley.
So much better with that.
Absolutely. I think Brantley would be the ideal quarterback for that pro style. But let's talk about Penn State for a second before we move on. With Joe Paul winning his 400th game this year, and we'll have to speak up for you, Joe. We're looking at possibly a really good matchup. Essentially, if you look at it on paper, Penn State did get their tails handed to them by Alabama earlier in the season.
Yeah.
But Florida's defense is not as good as Alabama's.
Yes.
What are we looking at as far as Penn State's offense?
Penn State's offense has to be centered around the quarterback. They're really, really balanced. They're both really young. One's a sophomore, one's a freshman, and they've looked tremendous really all year. It's the reason they've had so much success is because of those young talents at quarterback. Penn State has really, even though they've lost 4 games, 3 of those 4 losses have come to top 10 teams: Wisconsin, Michigan State, and Ohio State. Those are 3 legitimate BCS teams right there. Penn State's not a scrub team. So I really think it's going to be watch the quarterback play for Penn State against the secondary of Florida. That's going to be the key matchup.
I'm going to take Penn State in this game, guys. It's no Big Ten bias that I have. It's just I really think that, like you said earlier, is which Florida team's going to show up. Is it going to be the one that showed up against Florida State, or if it's going to be the one that showed up earlier in the year against Georgia, which was a really good game. We're going to hit the Capital One Bowl real quick, and we're going to move on to Alabama at Michigan State. This is where Saban actually coached before, and this is a really good matchup just for the Michigan State folks, the fans, just to see and prove, we're better off without you kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
statement game.
Are they, though? Is Michigan State better than Alabama?
I don't think anybody is better off without Nick Saban there. Personally, he's a terrific coach, terrific recruiter. I really think Bama's going to take this one. There are still some question marks in the secondary for Alabama. I mean, when you lose 11 players on defense to the draft, you're not going to come back for that. Alabama still has immense talent. If you put Ingram and Richardson together, they're averaging over 250 yards from scrimmage per game. That's sick, man. That's ridiculous numbers.
16 touchdowns rushing between the two of them. It's ridiculous.
That is disturbing. I really think Alabama's going to take this game. Michigan State's not going to lay down, though. I see this. The spread is 10. I'd say take Michigan State for the spread. I think it's going to be a 3-point game.
Yeah, I think Michigan State's got a really good shot at actually pulling an upset. On the same note, I'm going to take Alabama. I really think that Alabama is just, and they are the Saban style offense. We can run it down, and it's like Big Ten offenses. We're going to rush first, then pass, which is completely different from what the SEC is.
Absolutely.
Which is why Alabama's been so successful, in my opinion, because they are a rush first team right now with Ingram and Richardson. It's the 1-2 duo that had in Arkansas back when
Felix Jones and
Darren McFadden were going.
Little note about Michigan State: they are 3rd in red zone percentages for touchdowns. So if they get in the red zone, I believe it's 50 or 60% they score touchdowns. So that's pretty good amongst the NCAA.
I'm taking Alabama in the game.
Me too.
Okay. We're going to move on to the Gator Bowl. Mississippi State at Michigan. The only reason we're talking about this, honestly, is because we hate Michigan.
Yeah.
I mean, to be completely honest, Mississippi State's got a pretty decent team, especially under first-year coach.
Mm-hmm.
Has apparently a huge ego, according to University of Miami.
I've heard this, yeah.
So, what do you think the key is for this game?
I think the key is Michigan State trying to contain Denard Robinson. Mississippi State, excuse me. Trying to contain Denard Robinson. He's really electric. At some points, he's just as good as Cam Newton. He doesn't sustain it for as long as Cam Newton. He can't do it every game, so he's not. But Denard Robinson does have those bursts of brilliance.
Mm-hmm.
The big part that Mississippi State needs to take advantage of is Michigan is horrible on turnovers.
Yes,
They're
are.
almost negative in turnover margin. If Mississippi State can be very opportunistic in this game, I see them to take it. They're 16th in the nation in rushing. So if they can get that rushing game established, they're good. Seeing
Denard Robinson play Ohio State in person, it looked like he could actually, especially the first, going on to the second, halfway through the second quarter, I was actually getting nervous, just personally, watching him run, because he was just running all over Ohio State's our defensive line. Mississippi State's got some big hog mollies down front, and it's going to be really tough for them to contain them because they are SEC bred. They're a little bit corn-fed, just like it's going to be tough to try to get them out around to maybe contain them to the center. I'm going to actually take Mississippi State in this game. They're the favorite, but I can't pick Michigan. I'm sorry.
I'm taking Mississippi State because there's no way I'd pick Michigan. I don't care who they played. There's no way I'd ever pick Michigan.
And last but not least, before the BCS games, we're going to hit the Liberty Bowl. The only reason we're hitting it is because we live in Georgia and we have to touch on it. Georgia at Central Florida. We've got Georgia Leary that's running a pretty good offense over at Central Florida, but Georgia's been on a roll lately, especially against really good teams. They played really well against Florida. They played really well against Tech. Mm-hmm. I think Aaron Murray's actually getting much better than he was.
Yeah.
That's coming from Bryce's wife.
Huge Georgia fan. Yeah, the thing is, you look at Georgia's schedule, they haven't been blown out. They've been in every single game this year.
Yes.
I mean, you look at the Mississippi State loss. That was a quality loss to a team at their own turf. The Colorado loss, you have to travel across the country to go play a team. That's hard. None of their losses have been blowouts. A.J. Green is the best wide receiver in the NCAA. Aaron Murray is slowly becoming a terrific quarterback. I'm putting my vote in right now for Heisman in maybe 2 years because he just looks terrific.
Absolutely.
If they can add some talent around him, he's going to be fine. Yeah, I'm taking Georgia in this one by at least 20.
We have to say this though: is Washaun Ely and Caleb King both have to hang on to the ball because they've been unfortunately butterfingers all season long. Aaron Murray's actually thrown 24 touchdowns compared to 6 interceptions, and as a freshman,
that's terrific.
So I'm actually going to take Georgia too. The spread's 7 right now. The over/under is ridiculous at 56. So, but that's it for our pre-BCS games. We're going to come back and hit the BCS bowls next. But for Bryce, I'm Billy. This has been Sports Club.